Testing.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
What time is it? 1,000 o'clock?
It's 1,000 o'clock. They broke the internet. All I can think about is sourdough bread and otters.
Oh, amen, sister.
Amen. Let's see how that sounded.
All right.
Hi, Charlotte.
Madeline, hello.
Oh my God. We are recording this moments after finishing the first part of the New Heights exclusive interview with Miss Taylor Allison Swift that seems to have broken the internet.
Yeah, we were watching the interview where Taylor Swift is on Travis and Jason Kelce's podcast, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying even 2 years ago.
Nope.
And then it just, you know how on YouTube the little box, well, you're watching YouTube right now. If you're watching, if you're not, and you're hearing us, you can go see us on YouTube.
We're wearing Air Stewart sweatshirts.
Yeah, Madeline lent me merch because I stupidly didn't buy any
at
the Air Stewart. What we've got.
I've got you covered.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
But you know how like the boxes pop up at the end of a YouTube video, and it's like you can click them. What was it? Mid sentence,
and I was like, wait, it's ending. Write this sentence.
I've been
write the sentence.
Write the sentence.
It was ending.
This sentence is over.
Yeah, and so it just cut off at like an hour and 44 minutes or something and 55 seconds.
Wait.
What?
Is that an Easter egg?
What's the math on that? Wait,
what's the date?
Okay. I'm doing math.
1 + 4 + 4 + 9 + 5. Wait, wasn't it 74 seconds?
Wait, what are you talking about?
1 hour, 44 minutes.
And 55 seconds.
Oh.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's an Easter egg. We're just too deep in it now.
The problem with being a Taylor Swift fan is that anytime she says anything, you are like, oh, well, then it's definitely an album about a horseback ride through Montana with 5 clowns attacked. Like you can make meaning, and all she did was say the number 9.
Yeah.
You can extrapolate. It's a slippery slope, folks.
It's a slippery slope being a Swiftie. Wow. First impressions of the episode.
It felt to me, first of all, I think I'm a little, I'm not rattled. I feel like these past 3 weeks, anytime we've done a show, we've been like, well, I'm a little rattled. No, I think I never thought we would see her unfiltered. Obviously, it was all very carefully. Everything she said was carefully planned out, and what she didn't say was also carefully planned out. Right. However, it was still Taylor Swift being a person, and I think that is still just kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, because it's certainly the longest we've ever heard her speak that's not singing.
Yes!
She's never done a podcast before, which is what she says on the podcast, and it was kind of unbelievable to see her sitting there with a Shure mic. We also use it,
like the same...
Like she was same headphones,
Madeline, she was doing what we're doing right now.
Yes.
Which just feels like too mortal.
It's
a podcast. Yes. I'm going to be honest. A podcast for Taylor Swift feels a little too mortal.
Yeah. Like she's otherworldly.
She's on a stage.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they were using, I know what camera it was. It was a bird dog camera. And New Heights, someone from New Heights tell me if I'm right, because that thing autofocuses. When I had to set that up myself during the pandemic, bane of my existence, I went out and got like a $60 webcam instead of using that thing. It looks great though. I also really did get the feeling, Jason Kelce, Travis's brother, Jason was basically the moderator. Yes. Like it was Travis and Taylor sitting together and then Jason the moderator. It couldn't help. It felt to me like when you like meeting like my husband's friend's new girlfriend.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. Even though it's like they've met many times and have now known each other for 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But it did feel like that because he's like the third wheel trying to get to know them as a couple. It's like, oh, it's his brother in like this new-ish relationship.
Yeah.
She's the new outsider coming into their family dynamic. And it's like, you could tell he's sitting there just like, he just had this look in his eyes like, whoa.
Jason, I have never loved something on a podcast more than Jason Kelce fighting with every ounce of his being to be like, you could see he was bright red most of the time and he was staring at his eyes were very wide and it was like he was saying to himself, be normal.
Yeah, be normal.
Not that he's not that he's weird around Taylor in general, just that he knew, because he's a very smart guy, what a massive event this was, and suddenly he was tasked with being the Katie Couric of the moment.
Oh, he was, as people were saying on Twitter, He was Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
He was Barbara Walters.
He was Barbara Walters.
Yes,
he was
Oprah.
Cronkite. He was Oprah. You had a great point of what it felt like.
I don't remember what I said.
The royal family.
Oh, the royal family. Oh. I then got distracted.
She's glitching, folks.
I was glitching like Taylor. I think there's been a glitch. No, it reminded me of, do you remember when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and Kate and Prince William sat down for these like engagement interviews?
Yes.
That's what it felt like to me. Like he was doing that interview for them, whether they're engaged or not, we'll get to that. But it did feel like that. Like it was this monumental, like global televised event, and people are seated for like this couple debuting.
Yes.
Even though, again, they've been in the public eye for a while, it was the first time we've seen them together speaking.
And Jason Kelce is conducting this monumental interview from his garage in Philadelphia.
In an Eras Tour long sleeve t-shirt, I might add.
He was... So every New Heights episode, he does the intro of the guest like a WWE, like a wrestling promo.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And he did that for Taylor. And at the end of, it was a long announcement. She's done a lot of stuff, a long introduction, I mean. And at the end, he was like, he said, oh, okay. He was like, I got to catch my breath. He was like, I'm shaking. And it wasn't a bit.
No.
No. He was like, what on God's green earth am I doing here?
On my sports podcast with my brother.
My football show with my brother. We're announcing a Taylor Swift album.
With Taylor Swift.
The one that we come to find out is the album she thinks is the best album she's ever made in her entire life.
Are you kidding me?
She announced it on a football podcast.
Unbelievable.
A football show.
It is unbelievable. It is, like I said on our Tuesday show of like, this was when we were speculating whether Taylor was going to announce an album or is she going to even come on? I was like, this could not be a better intersection of our interests, our life's work, led us to this moment to have her do that.
1,000%.
It was, I felt like I was standing on a mountaintop or I'm like a face etched into Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Hello, sports gossipers down there. How do you do?
It's funny though, because when you said that on our show on Tuesday, you said it feels like my life's work will have meaning.
Oh, yeah.
At first I laughed so hard, and then as I've been thinking about it, I'm like, oh no, the universe brought us together to have this show for this moment.
Yes.
Like I think for a long time, everybody has talked about, for a few years now, it's like sports, it's the monoculture, blah, blah, blah. Sports is the only thing everybody watches at the same. It's the only thing keeping advertising alive. Everybody's trying to get in on sports. But like this felt like another leap in that direction where it was like, oh no, like, because it used to be different. We've talked about this. It used to be sports famous and then like famous.
Right. Sports
famous is famous now.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
whole different ballgame.
Crazy.
No, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. Going back to Jason, it was crazy seeing him freak out like I would be freaking out doing that intro. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's what it felt like. The whole thing is crazy. It's crazy. We're thinking about like, how did the universe put us together to sit here to watch this, that this is happening? How is Jason feeling?
Yes.
Doing the intro? How is Travis feeling that his girlfriend, who happens to be the most famous pop star in the world, is on his football podcast announcing her new album? It's crazy for everybody. It's crazy for everybody. I think that's like, it levels the playing field. Do you know what I mean?
I could not agree more. No one in that situation, no one watching it or involved, except for Taylor Swift, thought it was normal.
Right.
I feel like Taylor has been famous for so long that situations like this that feel for us, for us regular people, you would be like, wait, what? She's like, no, this is just my life. Like, why not do it on your podcast? I'm going to have to announce it anyway. Yeah. And she was very calm in a way that, like, Travis and Jason also, they have a podcast for a living. Like, Taylor doesn't go on podcast. They have this, like, relatability that you need in podcast hosts. This is when I wink to the camera. Am I right? No, but, like, truly, they were, like, standing in for everyone else watching this because they were like, yeah, we can't believe it either.
Right. Yeah, we can't believe it. It's unbelievable. I keep saying that, but it really is.
Something that's coming back to me now, I sort of like doing it this way because, our listeners know we usually plan these things pretty meticulously and have a doc that we're following and tons of research. I think for better or for worse, we know so much about Taylor Swift and so much about the Chiefs and the Eagles, and that like it's just kind of in our heads at this point. And the Travis and Taylor lore. But something that she said I found very interesting, which was she said that when she and Travis met, she didn't know what a first down was.
Yeah.
She said she thought that the quarterbacks faced off against each other.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she wasn't telling the truth, but to have a dad who is that into football and like not know a first down, maybe it was true, but what it felt to me, she then said, all of the people who watched along with me, we were learning together. And I think that is the most brilliant PR thing I have maybe heard in my entire life.
Yes.
Because what she was saying is all these women and girls who started watching because of me, we went on this journey together.
Yes.
Keep coming on it with me. I am the same as you.
Yes. And so spot on. And as she kind of hints to throughout the podcast episode, everything she does is for her fans, and she's always thinking about them. How can she put on a better show for them? And I actually do feel like there are parallels there where she's like, how can I bring them in to the fold and be like, no, we were on this journey together. I would not be here without my fans. And we are now watching football, learning what a first down is, learning what moving the chains is together for the first time.
Yes.
Which is such a smart PR move to your point. But I also do think she does genuinely feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, because she has such a deep connection to her fans.
Yes.
She plants Easter eggs, as we famously know. She invites them to album party listenings. Like, that was a thing she did back in the Tumblr era. So it's like everything is always connected back to the fandom in some way. And it's so interesting to see football come into play. And then she also said something about, it was some line about the NFL, just generally like, it's been so great to be part of this community. And I'm sure the NFL off to the side was just like, yes,
Madeline, all I could think of was Roger Goodell in his, Bronxville, whatever house where, Westchester, whatever nice New York City suburb he lives in, sitting there being like slow clapping at his TV.
My work here is done.
Folks, we got him.
We got him. Yes. Yes.
She said also maybe you came to watch this because of me and you stayed because of essentially she said because of the product.
Right.
That is the best marketing the NFL could get, and it doesn't need more marketing.
No, yeah. And another thing that she said in the episode was comparing her work performing on stage to the work that Travis and Jason do on the football field, saying like, well, she has a rehearsal, they have practice.
Yes.
They have a game, she has a performance.
Yes.
And it again, another tie-in to the NFL specifically, which I thought was so interesting.
And I also, I loved that she said that too. And when it's me, it's a dressing room. When it's you, it's a locker room. Because I think that whether she intended it this way or not, gets at the gendered nature of how seriously people take something. Mm-hmm. For her whole career, it's been people being like, oh, you like Taylor Swift? Especially men. She said the dads, Brads, and Chads in that Time article talking about people who were mad that the NFL was showing her during broadcasts or the broadcasters were showing her. But there's also an element of it where she's like, what we do is not different. Yeah. Mine is just, has been gendered in a way that it's easy for these guys who love football to say, why are you showing Taylor Swift? And she's like, why are they showing me? Because I do the exact same thing as the people you love watching. And there's something really, really like the most powerful form of, instead of saying, go bleep yourself, she's saying, oh no, I'm gonna break this down very simply for you.
They're both putting on a show for an audience, for a very large audience in a stadium. And yes, the actual medium is different, but the outcome is kind of the same. Their goal is to entertain their fans. Yes. And that's what they're doing. Yeah. It doesn't really matter whether you're singing or throwing a football and catching it.
And it's the same electric energy. And I think that's something that has always fascinated me about the Super Bowl. Like being at a Super Bowl, covering a Super Bowl feels like you're at the center of the universe because it is both the biggest game of the biggest league and also the biggest musical performance that people watch on TV. Right. So it is all the same thing for one day a year.
Yeah. Right. Right. I also thought it was interesting when, Jason and Travis were talking about Taylor's prep that went into the Eras Tour, and she did all of this conditioning and endurance training, and they were pointing to her being an athlete, and she had this kind of very Taylor Swift like the Business of Taylor Swift answer, kind of like a little self-deprecating, like, I don't view myself as an athlete, which maybe she doesn't, but she is an athlete.
Yeah.
And they were right. And it is interesting. Like, she just really was deflecting that. Like, she's like, Travis was like, well, you're really good on a team. Like, you're a team player. You're not like an individual sport athlete, which it just got me thinking, like, she is like the captain of a football team.
Yeah.
Whether she thinks she is or not.
Yeah.
I would agree that she is. Like, the Business of Taylor Swift and her getting on stage at the Eras Tour is not a one-woman show. She might be the center of attention, but she is like more like the captain steering a ship with a lot of other players.
Yes.
You know?
Totally. And I loved hearing her talk about leadership. I loved hearing her talk about, I mean, basically that could have been also like a business school class in marketing.
Yes, totally.
Because what she didn't say when she talked about everything she does is for her fans, the reason she's successful is because she gives people something and she delivers on it. We love Taylor Swift because we love her music, we love the show she puts on, and we love the world that she has created.
Yeah.
I don't love pop stars the way that I love Taylor Swift because there is something she's built where it is obvious that she doesn't want to, she's never phoning it in.
No, never. And she says that, like, she's like, I couldn't have a sick day on the Eras Tour. It's like there could not be a performance where she wasn't at the top of her game.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, to your point, it's like she's always thinking about how can I put on the best performance and deliver a premium piece of content to my audience, give them a premium experience. In the same way, I think the NFL likes to view itself. It's like they're giving their fans like a premium experience. The halftime show at the Super Bowl is premium. Like the national anthem is dramatic. Like during the Super Bowl, it's like they are putting together these like premium pieces of content every Sunday, obviously leading to the main event, the Super Bowl. But it does feel similar. Like I feel like the ethos is the same.
Well, also, if you think about it, I mean, think about Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. However you think of him as a person, he saw the vision of making. Sorry, there's a ambulance going by, and
it's also the emergency.
I'm also
of this spot.
So hot, I might have to take
it off.
I'm gonna jack the air up.
Jack it. Do whatever you gotta do.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Charlotte's gonna take off her Eras Tour sweatshirt. Getting too excited talking about Taylor Swift over here.
I know. Well, see, the problem is I'm too hot. I can't
take it off. All right, you're committed. Are you sure?
What? I'm just going to be a little sweaty.
We're keeping this in.
Yeah.
We're keeping this in, by the way.
This is also, we're, again, in my house.
Yes.
Apartment.
Yes.
And my hair is just doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, that's what you get for a late night record.
Yeah, so I think in terms of what Jerry Jones saw with, like, and what Charlotte Jones, his daughter, who runs the Dallas Cowboys, and what the Kelly and Judy in charge of the team, blah, blah, blah. If you watch the Cowboys doc, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, go watch our episode about it. Is that fan experience.
Yes. And the cheerleaders, like, to me, feel like an extension of building a universe for your fans.
Yes.
Like the Cowboys were like, how do we extend the fandom? How do we create more hype and excitement around the product of the Cowboys, even when the Cowboys aren't delivering maybe the best on the field performance?
Okay,
not saying Taylor Swift doesn't deliver great performance, but you know what I mean.
Well, the cheerleaders are the best part.
Yeah,
like it's like, you know,
right.
Super Bowl between the Rams and the Patriots halftime show is the best part.
Yeah,
I think it was Maroon 5, so it's really not saying much because anyway, not to get too sportsy here.
Go for it.
Something that the NFL has done that has differentiated itself from other leagues is, first of all, I mean, the brutality of football. The stakes are extremely high all the time. Also, the rarity of it, the scarcity factor of it. There are 17 games a year. You get to watch your team play 17 times, guaranteed, maybe more if they're good.
Yeah.
Everything is an event.
Yes.
They do releases. They announce when they're going to announce the schedule.
Yes.
Taylor Swift and the NFL actually have very similar marketing strategies. And I think that the NFL is so popular because they have like hit this confluence of things that make fans make it an event.
Yes.
And like the NBA, we love the NBA. A lot of people love the NBA. There are a lot of games.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch your team play every game pretty easy to watch every Sunday.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And it just makes me think about like what other leagues could do to, I mean, for a long time, I think you need fewer games in a lot of the leagues. Like, but all of this ties back to giving people something they can't miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's must-see television. And like the Eras Tour was a prime example. It was a must-get ticket.
Yeah.
It was like you had to be there is what it felt like. It was like if you weren't there, you were seeing clips on social media. If you're not at the game on Sunday, you're seeing clips on social media.
If you're not watching with your friends, you're alone watching it.
Right.
Or like...
Yeah.
It
creates like it's almost like the NFL and the business of Taylor Swift create this intense FOMO fandom culture and hype that creates more buzz and excitement around these main events, so concerts or these games, that people are like, I need to participate in some way. I need to buy the merch. I need to buy my the player's favorite or their jersey, like my favorite player's jersey.
Yeah.
Like you want to find ways that you can participate in the fandom in any way possible, and it is such a similar strategy. You're so right.
I also think that there's something amazing about Taylor Swift then coming into the NFL universe and bringing with her, you know, not just women. I get annoyed when people are like, she brought women. It's like, yeah, she brought a lot of women. She also brought men who didn't care before. Like, and I think that there's something so fascinating to me about how she made this thing that, like, I remember before I worked in sports, I didn't know a ton. I didn't know a ton about the NFL. Mm-hmm. I loved the Patriots. Didn't know much about other teams.
Yeah.
And I remember the acute feeling of feeling stupid or feeling cut out of conversations when mostly guys that I knew, some women too, but like traditionally like bros in college would be talking about a game and I would be sitting there on the couch being like, I hate that I can't contribute to this, but I wasn't socialized to need to know this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so Taylor comes along, brings other people with her, says, hey, this is pretty fun. Why don't you come with me? Part of the reason I think people got so mad when she was being shown on broadcast is because guys who have typically been able to gatekeep this as a way to make themselves feel like they know something a large part of the population might not know.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that facade is being torn down.
Right.
And not to get too tooting our own horn. What we are trying to do here is make sports accessible so that you can listen and you don't feel stupid in those moments because no one thought you needed to know it.
Yeah.
And I think what Taylor's doing with the NFL is just a part of that the fact that she went on that show tonight and we have this show and we got picked up by The Athletic. I really don't mean to be navel gazing. It is all coming from the same breakdown of that gatekeeping.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Enough said. You know, I totally agree. And I think of course, she went on the show. It's her boyfriend's show. Would she go on any NFL show? I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows? But unlikely. So there's obviously personal reasons why she went on it. But even just when we started, when the premiere counted down all the way to 0 and she pops up on the screen on a New Heights YouTube channel video, it just felt like almost like a sigh of relief. Mm-hmm. Like here she is, like allowing all these new fans to watch and also like holding the door open to be like, yeah, you can watch an NFL game. Look at me. I'm on an NFL podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So true.
Like, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's how I felt watching it, of like, wow, this is like going to change the game. No pun intended, but pun intended. You know what I mean?
But there's a pun in there. Yeah. I think that's a profound way to put it. The sigh of relief. It felt all of a sudden, it felt monumental.
Yeah. Yes.
In a way that I don't think maybe is like fully hitting us right at this moment.
It feels like when you point to something, you're like, that was the turning point in sports history. Like, it feels like that was a turning point in sports media history.
Yes.
Right then. Like, that this moment, I'm like, oh, well, what is going to happen in the next 6 months or a year? What other shows are going to come out? What other stars are going to date athletes or maybe go on sports podcasts or start their own shows? I mean, just like you could have a whole 5-hour conversation around the state of sports media and how this conversation completely changes it.
I mean,
like,
yes,
it does.
It's also crazy. It's so funny because usually when we do these shows, we have talked to each other before.
Yes. No, we haven't. We literally stopped it.
And then I'm also like phlegmy.
We're phlegmy and hot.
Yeah, I'm so hot. But truly,
we're committing to the bit.
No, I'm not taking it
It's
off.
continuity. We have to leave it in. Do you remember during
I'm as sweaty as Jason was interviewing Taylor Swift.
Yes, you remember during the Miss Main episode, the sun, if anyone's watched that episode, the sun slowly starts coming on my face. And then at one point, Charlotte looks at me and is like, we got to move the table. We move the table. And then it cuts to us back interviewing. And we're like, well, we had to move because of the sun. But like, if you're watching the first like 20 minutes of the episode, the sun is just like coming across my face.
So because of the Jordan episode last week, where we had to go back and watch the Miss Main pageant episode.
I was like, this is so insane.
We were watching it for like a very serious reason, and we were really stressed. But then we would watch it, and we would just watch the sun just rise up Madeline's face, and we would.
And I'm talking about like aesthetic labor and my master's degree.
Laughing. Do I need to turn the air up more?
Sure, go for it.
I think I'm going to.
This is going to be this is our third character in this podcast episode. It's the AC. Cranking it up. It's a heat wave over here. Also, when we were watching the episode, this is just a behind the scenes. This is the showgirl era behind the scenes.
Life of the show.
It was pouring in like a thunderstorm, which felt like Taylor Swift was getting a message from the gods.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yes. I'm so sweaty. I hope you.
You don't
I turned
look it.
the air conditioning up, so if you can hear it now.
Sorry. I was going to say, it just feels very monumental, and it really does feel like a turning point for sports media and the business of sports, and how people need to invite more types of fans in, and how people are craving content that is kind of like sports adjacent. And we hope that we're giving you that with the show. Again, not to talk about ourselves, but it's just interesting timing.
Well, also, like, part of why this show can exist now is because Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce.
100%.
That's why we're talking about our own show. It's not because we think we're so great. It's because these things are directly, if that didn't happen, this show might not have happened.
Right.
Seriously.
I mean, because think about it, if we go back in time, when she started dating Travis Kelce, one of my biggest Substacks was about her dating him. And it was like, Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce is my Roman Empire. That led to a huge influx in subscribers. Charlotte, I met more people in sports. I met Charlotte. Like, we wouldn't be here in a lot of ways.
No, we wouldn't. And
really?
Also, I don't know if that hadn't happened, if there would have been an appetite for this kind of thing, not just about them.
Right. Well, and I also think what people need, like, I think more than anything is a blueprint and an example of this type of content working. Mm-hmm. And the example was Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce. And I think the online chatter and excitement around that was like the perfect example of like, oh, there's interest here in these sort of like off the field relationships. There can be casual fans who are invested in NFL games, not necessarily because they know the name of every player, but they know that Taylor Swift is dating one of the chief stars. Mm-hmm. And it gave, I don't know, I kind of feel like it gave people confidence to like open up about their peripheral interest in sports, which kind of led to this in some ways. You know what I mean?
Especially, I think, there's a lot of talk about women when it comes to Taylor Swift and the NFL. And I think there's something there about in order for this show to exist, it had to be so undeniably huge, something that is marked as traditionally feminine, which is who are they dating? Who is, like, what is it? It had to be the biggest person in the world, the biggest woman in the world dating the biggest woman in the world. It had to be
super pop star.
It had to be a superstar of levels that we have seldom seen, dating an athlete for people to take this seriously. And I think it also does show, like, I think it taught some men, like, we have a lot of guys who listen to this show, and it was like, it's not, it doesn't have to be a lesser thing to care about who these people are off the field.
No.
It actually is the only reason I like sports, because it's the reality show of it all.
As we always say, it helps inform what's happening on the field and why maybe certain players are having a better game or worse game than other times because of what's going on off the field. And it really just informs so much more of what's going on in the actual sport.
Yeah. Yeah. So for her to go on new heights is truly monumental and also a further defiant I'm here.
Yes.
Because in one of the social clips, she said, I'm here because I know your male fans love nothing more. The only thing they want is to see more of me.
Yes.
Like addressing it head on, being like, yeah, no, I know a lot of you are going to hate this.
Right.
And that's partly why I'm doing it. She said on the show, she was like, I'm petty.
Yeah. Which brings me to something you said earlier about PR. To me, her going on the show was a masterclass in PR and controlling the narrative and revealing just enough information to hook people in, but not revealing too much.
Yep.
She talks about at the beginning of the show about how they met, obviously, and Travis says, Taylor says, I owe a lot to this podcast. This podcast got me a boyfriend. Iconic line.
Because Travis famously was upset that he didn't get to meet Taylor after her show at Arrowhead and
Right.
said so on the show. And then everybody in her life who knew him or tangentially told her to date him.
Yeah, so you were getting these kind of glimpses into their personal life without them divulging more than they're comfortable with. Again, also because it's their show and they can control the narrative and whatever's cut, we don't know, obviously.
Yeah.
But it felt like it gave the audience and the fans like enough information and personal connection to their relationship that I know obviously has been the focal point of so much news since they started dating. That it was just like the smartest line that they were walking that was like giving you something, but then they like didn't divulge more.
But then they talked about like otters and sourdough bread for literally 30 minutes.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You know what?
It was
We were
wild.
I felt high at one point.
I'm just watching and I'm like, Travis is talking about how he wants to save an otter in the wild, not like just go visit one at a zoo or something. He wants to save one. And then Taylor's talking about making blueberry sourdough.
And funfetti sourdough for Jason Kelce's kids.
Yes.
But Travis only wants to save the otter if the otter knows that he saved it.
Which, unbelievable. If you told me no context that, the Taylor Swift episode on New Heights was about otters and sourdough, I'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
Which is,
that
again,
can't be right.
That was, Lorem Ipsum, the text like fills in something when you're mocking up a website or something. They Lorem Ipsum'd that
100%
for a good chunk of the show.
100%.
Which, again, I respect because I think
I loved it.
Part of what I love about Taylor Swift is it is watching a chess player at the top of their game play the game of the media.
Yes.
And it is thrilling to watch, probably because we're part of the media.
Right.
So, of course, we're invested. I think, too, doing this show, most of what we analyze is the public relations that people have and the choices they make. And she is so smart and so far ahead of the game that it's really just like watching a beautiful tennis match.
Yes.
Where I loved that interview, not because of what we learned, not because, I'm very excited for the album. We'll talk about that in a sec. But not because of anything she said, but because of how she played the game using this medium.
Absolutely. And, she was the #1 student at the Tree Payne School of Media Training.
Yeah.
And when she was talking about reclaiming her master's and buying back her master's, and she's getting emotional talking about it and really going through like the step-by-step business process of buying the master's, I was like, I feel like I'm in a business school class.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And to just like get that level of detail, I think, on a football podcast about reclaiming her master's felt like the perfect PR masterclass about getting her master's back.
Yeah, because that's what she wanted to talk about.
Yes.
She wanted people to know that. She wanted people to know about the album. There were specific things that if you are trained in the media, you could see what the talking points were.
Yes,
and
for sure.
And if you aren't, it's just a fun, interesting interview.
Yeah.
But I think, too, like, I'm very wary of famous people I don't know saying, like, oh, I love this person. Because if I don't know them, I don't know them.
Right.
What I love about Taylor Swift is her music, and how brilliant she is at using the media and not using the media, and being so relevant and at the top of her game for 20 years.
Unbelievable.
I admire it so deeply.
Yeah.
And it is so cool that it is touching the sports world.
Yeah, and it's funny because The otter sourdough 30-minute rant that they went on definitely didn't feel like that was a talking point, because you could tell on Jason's face, like we kept joking, Jason's just kind of like sitting there at a point just like, okay, do I chime in with another question? Like, you know, but it felt like it perfectly weaved into the talking points, you know, which is always a sign of a good celebrity interview. Yes. Where you're getting these like funny tidbits. It's like, that's probably what people are going to remember from the episode, is this like, oh my God, remember this funny bit they had about otters, which again is the perfect thing for people to remember because it's not too intimately connected to their personal lives.
Yes.
It's like a funny talking point. It shows their personalities. It shows Taylor really likes doing like, she said hobbies from the 1700s, I think, or something like that. And Travis is just like really obsessed with otters. And it's like, that is the perfect like fun factiness that you want from celebrities that you just really don't get anymore.
Yeah.
Because before, celebrities used to just like do all these interviews, like back in the day, say whatever they want. You get like just so much content, and then clearly like just the PR machine kind of came in and pulled things back a lot, and you don't get things like that anymore, really.
Partly because it's the death of media. Not to go all big, but like all of this is just like so profound, because it's like in the 90s you had Vogue, and you did a Vogue interview with a writer who didn't have to protect you because Vogue was bigger than you were.
Yes.
You did these things because you had to. And then with the media ecosystem dying and, you know, social media being the way, nobody needs to do it. And what I think this might mark a pendulum swing when when athletes started producing their own documentaries and stopped really doing profiles like the ones I used to do for Sports Illustrated. I was like, this is eventually going to be detrimental for famous people, because there is a humanization when you let someone else see you and tell other people about you, even if it's not fully perfect, even if it's not exactly how you wanted it to go, that let people know who you are in a way that you never could. It's like Jordan Hudson can't tell us who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if someone were to follow her around for a day and write about it, which is essentially what we ended up doing in talking to her, you find out more objectively who she is. Yeah. And it's so fascinating that Taylor Swift, the biggest star on the planet, has, regardless of whether it was her boyfriend's podcast or not, felt the need to touch back down to earth and humanize herself again and be like, I've gotten too far away from people knowing that I'm a person.
Yeah.
We have to touch back down. I think we're going to see a lot more celebrities, even if they are going on friendly shows, starting to open up in more candid ways, because people now are seeing through the veneer of social media and being like, we just don't buy it, so we're not interested in you if you're not real.
No, and that's why I think a lot of celebrities now, the most impactful media they can earn, like getting organic media and awareness, is via podcasts and being guests on these long form podcasts where you're getting this arc where they're like, yes, they're hitting their talking points, they're talking about their new project, but you're also learning about their sourdough hobbies and your boyfriend's love of otters.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're getting like a taste of who they are outside of their work, but also, of course, you're getting like the PR approved talking points about the project they're trying to promote.
Yes, totally. And what is so fascinating to me is that the same week that Taylor went on New Heights, Travis Kelce agreed to do a GQ feature. Yes. He did a cover story with GQ. He let a writer into his life. He didn't have to do that.
No.
He didn't have to do that. He is one of the most famous athletes in the world now. And yet he and his team, who I would guess is now Taylor's team, saw the value in saying, you are not... Your job in this relationship is to be the relatable one, is to be the guy that people feel they can see themselves in. And what I loved so much that Travis said in that GQ interview is that he now thinks a lot about how he wants to be portrayed. Let me read this full quote.
Wow.
Because this kind of blew my mind. He said, put another way, I've become way more strategic in understanding what I am portraying to people. Later, during our time together, the writer says, he tells me, I have a good understanding of how I want to be portrayed.
Wow.
Which is like, A, he's thinking about it a lot. He has to, because he's with Taylor Swift. He has really good media training people in his life. But B, he understands that letting people in and seeing who he is because he's this goofy, nice guy. I know Travis.
Yeah.
I interviewed Travis for years before he became this level of famous, and he was always like really lovely. So why wouldn't you let people see that?
Right. Yeah.
He's
and
like
why
a superpower to have in your back pocket if you're Taylor Swift's team.
Exactly. It's like, why wouldn't you put the two of them together? It's like a superpower explosion. Like, you can't get any better PR than that moment.
No.
Really. I mean, you can't. I honestly, it's funny now that we're talking about this, because again, we just kind of jumped into recording. I actually think I'm like a little blown away by what we were able to witness.
Same.
Like, from a PR perspective, obviously, just as a Swiftie, seeing them together, of course, was amazing. But just how they clearly are navigating this fame together and controlling the narrative around how they want to be perceived, while also still letting in their fans to be able to like perceive them, if that makes sense.
Yes,
you know?
Totally. And it really is blowing my mind that Travis agreed to a traditional print interview the same week they did this. That
was strategic, I'm sure.
Yes, and it's hopeful to me. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, maybe we're going to get magazine profiles back.
Bring them back. Bring back a good magazine profile.
And I know they still happen, but this felt like an event the way that they even 6 years ago felt.
Right.
I also think it was just so, watching Taylor, you get the sense that like she is so dedicated to her art. For her, I don't know. I can we talk about the album for a second?
Yes, please.
I have not been this excited for an album. I mean, look, I was really excited for Haim. But this album, Taylor said that okay, so we talked about the whole karma of it all, which people think was a lost album that she was supposed to release before all of this stuff in her personal life happened, and she felt like her reputation was ruined, so she wrote Reputation, released that. People were saying that this might be that. There are a whole bunch of reasons. You can go on TikTok. I think that this probably does have elements of that original album, if that is true, because she's working again with Max Martin and Shellback, two Swedish producers who made some of the best songs in the history of the world with her.
Yeah.
And when she said she wanted to go back to them to do something that was like the tightest, crispest banger after banger of an album.
Yeah.
This is what I have been begging for since 1989.
Yes. Just give us an album with hits. It's 12 songs. 12 songs, and as of now, there's only one feature, Sabrina Carpenter, on the last song. Who knows, maybe it's a double album, and there's maybe an album of Collapse. But I feel like her releasing an album that is like 12 songs that she says, like, one, they're bangers, but they're like her best work, is the perfect culmination of the work she put in the past few years to put on the best tour of all time, which is such an athlete mentality.
Yes.
To be the GOAT.
Yes.
You know, it's like she is thinking like a GOAT.
No, this is,
you know what I mean?
Tom Brady in the gym working on pliability when everyone thought he was insane.
Yes.
This is that. Yes. This level, I think I feel I'm the same exact age as Taylor and Travis, born in 1989. And I feel like maybe part of what I feel is watching their mastery of their craft, because that's what Travis talks about a lot in this GQ article as well. And this feeling of watching someone all of a sudden understand the crispness of like what it means to distill their work down to its best, most elemental, simplest, tightest form is like really, really cool.
Yeah. And it's so satisfying to watch, I think, as a fan.
Yeah.
And just as someone, like, you know, we do this podcast and we want it to be the best thing it can be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, just for anyone who's doing anything in the world, this could be anyone. It can kind of apply to anyone. You know, like, you want to put out the best work that you can, you know, in whatever you're doing. And I think Taylor Swift is the model of that. Like, watching her perform on the Eras Tour was just such a feat. And it was like the athletic ability, the stage presence she had, and then for her to do this interview and continue to break records, obviously with Tortured Poets, and break every single album record, blah, blah, tour record of all time, whatever. And then now she's saying like, no, this is my best work. Like, she's always looking for room to improve and be like, no, I want to put out the greatest work I possibly can. And there's always like 1 millimeter of improvement I can inch towards.
Yeah. It's what it feels like. Mozart.
Yes.
You know, like I can't,
Yes.
it doesn't feel like something people are willing to admit they're trying to do. And I think that's also what I appreciated about this. She said, I'm trying to make the best album I've ever made. She said, I know that's putting a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah. No, I love that.
And I think that there's something so deeply millennial about Travis and Taylor, where they're talking about playing beer pong.
Oh, yes.
She can be, you know, she's got her sort of folksy, like what the kids would call cringe, which whatever.
Right.
I don't subscribe to that, but I'm a millennial, so I'm probably cringe. There is this earnestness to both of them that I think can feel refreshing at a time where it's seen as embarrassing to try.
Yes.
And there's so much cynicism. Look, I'm the most cynical person in the world. But I also appreciate those moments of like, hey, you know what? I'm really, we're trying really hard right now.
Yeah.
We're trying really hard to make this a great show.
Right.
And we really need people watching to like it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make
like
you like it. You know, like that, to say that, I think is like not where social media has led us.
No.
And so it's cool. I don't know.
I appreciate it. I think she definitely walked a fine line. There were points like, especially when she was talking about the athlete thing, being like, I don't think I'm an athlete, which she was definitely being humble and all of that. But I do appreciate the confidence of just being like, no, I'm trying to put out my best work possible. Yeah. And I'm going to put that on record on probably the most streamed YouTube video and most listened to podcast episode of all time.
Yeah, 1000%. And I can't get over Jason.
Oh my!
I can't get over Jason. Jason,
he was
Kelce.
the best. Like he was like a sidekick. You know what I mean? It was unbelievable. His facial expressions, his timing, and then our favorite thing he said. In the intro he says like 21 countries or something like that
for the tour,
for the Eras tour, and then later on he asked her, "And how many countries did you?"
Well, because it was after this like incredibly intimate moment where Travis was telling Taylor how much he loved her and why he loved her.
And they were having like sweet eye contact with each other.
And it felt like, I don't know that we should be seeing this. And Taylor said something like, no one should be seeing this, as in like get a room, saying it, joking about herself. And then it cuts back to Jason, Travis's brother, and he's looking at the camera and he goes, so how many countries did you go to with the Eras tour?
And she's like, you already asked me that. You already said that at the top.
And it felt at times like, look, I loved it. I think she's so deeply impressive, blah, blah, blah. It did feel at times like you were the third wheel. I felt like I was Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Watching that interview where also like, Taylor hasn't done she's never done a podcast.
Right.
Like there's a way you do a podcast.
Yeah, and like the kind of more you wait for the question. Like clearly Jason was, I would imagine at least that Jason was stressing and trying like, okay, when can I ask my next question?
Right, she was talking.
Yeah, she was talking, which was great. I mean, selfishly, I was like, please keep talking. But I could tell when they would cut to Jason, you could just tell he was kind of like,
he was like, I am not sure how to steer this ship right now.
He steered it though. He steered it right on into the port.
He did an amazing job. I felt like he represented everybody watching that in a way that we so deeply needed.
Yes.
Because Taylor and Travis, even though she was there being a person and human, they still feel like so far away.
Right.
Jason's in his garage being like, I'm sweating profusely.
Same.
And I also think that that's what like, he and Kylie, his wife, Kylie Kelce, podcast, Not Gonna Lie, do so well is they truly, as much as any two famous people can still seem grounded.
Yes, absolutely.
Have remained so.
Absolutely.
And so I really did. I felt like I was Jason watching and I was the third wheel on a date where two people are like, really in love and you start like getting red because you're like, I don't know if I should be here, but like we were all that.
Yeah, we were all that. I felt like it was the perfect tone for a celebrity podcast.
Jason,
it really was the perfect tone.
The whole thing.
Yes, it was like the perfect tone, and I feel like we the collective audience were Jason Kelce. We were Jason.
I loved it so like I truly.
Oh, it was great.
It brought me
give me like Jason doing investigative reporting.
21 countries.
Unbelievable. Okay, to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Album is 12 songs. What are your predictions for the album or just for the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift universe based on this podcast episode?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I think we both, she says that she made this album at a time in her life where she wanted the album to feel like her life felt.
Yes.
And Travis is in her life. And she said it felt very exuberant and happy and like exciting. it's hard not to say.
I mean, we've already said, like, are they engaged or not? Again, we don't know. However, I do feel like they are engaged based on just the tone and the vibes between them. It felt engaged-y, and I feel like she's going to have lyrics on the album that reveal it. That's my guess.
She also said to Jason at one point, well, we're family.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I feel like you don't say to a boyfriend.
You could.
To a boyfriend's brother.
Felt like a slip up.
And they just kept it in.
And they were like, you know what, let's leave it.
Yeah, I mean, she said she doesn't do Easter eggs about her personal life, but maybe that was just like a whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think of that so much as an Easter. I think for her, Easter eggs are like planned things with her career
they're related to her music.
Correspond to numbers. Yes. I think she leaves hints.
Yes, that's
that
true.
She wouldn't categorize as Easter eggs, but like she wrote an entire album about someone we can only assume is named Maddie Healy,
right?
Based on what we knew,
based on the vibes.
She tells you a lot lot about her personal life.
Oh yeah, and she said that in the episode. Like, she said that in the episode.
One bone to pick with her.
What?
Taylor said she's not online. She doesn't look at the comments. I think she protects her peace.
Yes.
I think she has a healthy way of doing so. I think she sees more than she's letting on.
Well, I agree with that because she does like Swiftie like tweets and things like that. Whether that's being sent to her and she's just liking it and like getting offline. She's somewhat online. Like she might not be looking at troll accounts, which no one should do that. Also, don't online cyberbully. Don't do that. Not nice.
No.
But yeah, I agree. I felt like I was like, all right, whatever. I'll let you have that one.
Also, her whole career has been built on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she knows it.
Yeah, she would pick fans from Tumblr for the listening sessions.
Yeah.
Like super fans. That's the whole point of them. So she's doing some social listening, as they say in the biz.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
The other thing I was going to say about the episode, just as like a couple final parting thoughts, is she did a lot of hand gesture work. And maybe that's just a performer in her. She's used to just having her hands out there, but there was a lot of left hand showing with no ring on it, and I don't know. It was a lot of like hand in the screen.
The lady doth protest too much.
Yes,
you might say. Of like, look, I'm not engaged.
I'm not.
Over and over.
Yeah, it was
Which
a lot
also,
of this.
like, it doesn't matter.
No.
So
but it's just for the gossip element of our show.
Oh no, but
you know what I mean.
I just mean like whether they're engaged or not.
Right.
Like they're together.
Yeah. They're happy. Fully. Who cares?
But there's something so fun about being like, well, is there a ring?
Yeah, it's like when you can tell someone online is being mysterious and you're like, oh my God, I think they got engaged on that trip to Italy.
Yes.
Yes. And you're like, that friend from high school.
Yes.
They're engaged.
Oh, I live.
That's what it's like. You're like, and you're trying
to
decode, you're texting your friends from high school, like, wait, I think like she posted like a weird blurry photo, like like Lake Como's in the background, like, or something, and that's what it feels like to me.
1000%. And yeah, I mean, it's also just, I feel like, I don't know. That was crazy.
It was unbelievable.
That was
and who knows if that's even the end of it. As of this recording, I keep checking New Heights' Twitter and nothing. So I think they broke YouTube.
That's crazy.
Or it was an intentional glitch and it's a Taylor thing and at midnight or something they're going to like release something else. I don't know. Or it really was just a glitch in the Matrix on the internet.
Being a Taylor Swift fan is like just like having a good British mystery every night if you want it. Like I've been watching crazy TikToks about one I did love.
What?
This is called The Life of a Showgirl.
Oh.
And she's reclaiming the color orange.
Yes.
Kanye's album, Kanye and Taylor were famously in a fight in 2016. His album from 2016 was called The Life of Pablo. The typeset on her album kind of mimics his.
Yeah.
His album's orange, hers is orange. I feel like that could be, I mean, from now on, anyone search The Life of, Pablo's not popping up.
It's going to be Miss Taylor Allison Swift.
It's going to be Showgirl.
Yeah.
And that's the long game on revenge, folks.
Oh, I love it.
One other thing that I really liked, she said, they were talking about Andy Reid, head coach of the Chiefs, and she was talking about his leadership style. And she said, when you lose your shit, you lose your leadership. And I thought that was probably why the people in her circle are so loyal to her.
Yeah.
Because she understands that to lead and truly have people on your side, you can't be blowing up at them.
No.
You have, I think, something that I try to think about in my life is everything is result oriented, which sounds like some, Andrew Huberman garbage of or like Tim Ferriss life hack.
Right.
But what I really mean is like, if I want this outcome,
yeah,
what is the best way to get there?
Yeah.
And oftentimes it means like taking emotion out of something.
Right.
And doing something or approaching it calmly and methodically.
Right.
And
right.
it feels like that is Taylor Swift's entire career.
100%.
And that's also a part of what is so alluring about her.
Yeah,
in some way.
and like motivating. I think going back to like always being the best, it's like she's always striving to do better and be the best leader that she can be. And again, she is an athlete. She's a captain of a football team.
Yeah.
And a captain needs to steer the ship in the right direction.
And look, before you're like, oh, you guys love Taylor Swift so much. Like, yeah, we
do.
We are fans. Also, though, like there are critical things you can say about her.
Yes.
But in this instance of this podcast and how it relates to what we're doing here, it just it felt like a very big thing had happened. So that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah, felt monumental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm so sweaty.
So sweaty.
I'm so remarkably sweaty right now.
The takeaways from the episode is masterclass in PR, sweaty, Taylor Swift's an athlete,
sports,
do the best in what you do.
Oh my
Love
God.
what you do. Put out 12 songs only. Crisp albums.
Crisp. Keep it crisp.
Keep it crisp. Well, if you've made it this far and stayed up late with us to watch this, thank you so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. And as always, please like this video, comment on it, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram at Sports Gossip and on TikTok at Sports Gossip Show.
You nailed that. Stuck the landing.
Stuck the landing.
Okay,
like
I'm going to go take this sweatshirt off.
Okay, bye.